Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Ibrahim Alwawi, IT instructor from Northeast Scotland College, Aberdeen, UK. In this presentation, I would like to talk about my qualification and experience, and then I would like to talk about a very interesting topic, and this is from my specialist area. My qualification, in short, I have just submitted, by the will and grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my PhD thesis, and I'm awaiting for the viva. My PhD is in computing science in the Computing School and Digital Media of Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, UK. My MSc master degree was in Information Technology in University of Aberdeen, Dundee, UK, and I get distinction in my dissertation. In my first degree, which is about educational technology, how to use the technology in education, and how to use computer and IT within the education. And I have got first class student with excellent level and distinction in most of my subjects and in my total rate. And that was in the University of Al-Aqsa in Palestine. And I have done BG Cert, which is a research methods degree in RGU Aberdeen, UK as well. I have done lots of other trainings and short courses related to teaching and IT. For example, teaching in colleges, the Assessor Award, and for example, healthy and safety regulations, freedom of information, for example, child protection law, for example, I got the data protection and equality and diversity and equal opportunities, environmental rules and things like that. Also, I have done a very interesting course in Cambridge University about the IC thinking, which is how to integrate the different factors together in very complex reality and produce useful information and make useful decisions. My experience, as I mentioned, I am at this moment IT instructor working in Northeast Scotland College, Aberdeen, and I have been there since 2014. So from November 2014 until today, and I worked there actually before in 2008 and 2009, before I have done my PhD. And also I am a Minister of Religion, helping in the Islamic Center in the local community, and I do lots of services. I have done also in 2012 and 2013 teaching assistant in RGU in Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen. And overseas I have done between 2000 and 2003. I have done very great work in Palestine. I was the principal of the Learning Resource Center, where I actually developed lots of materials and I trained lots of new teachers in the use of the technology and use of IT in the teaching and in education. Now I would like to start with my topic, and it is about big data. And big data, actually, as it sounds, it's a huge data, and it is interesting, and it is a new topic, and this new topic I believe is going to change the way that the human interact with each other. It's actually a new era in the world and in the technology and the interaction and communication. We would like to very briefly talk about the type of data. There is structured data and unstructured data. We will talk about the challenges. We will talk about why it is important and some examples of the applications that used in big data. And at the end, I would like to mention how I used it in my PhD. First of all, what is big data? The definition of big data can be taken from the name. Big data means a huge data. A huge amount of data that cannot really be captured easily. For example, healthcare records, oil and gas sensors data, flights details, CCTV videos, for example, social media like Facebook, Twitters. So this huge data is very important and exists in our life, in our daily life a lot, and we see it a lot. Now, what is special about big data and how many types of big data exist? We have two types of big data. There is structured data and there is unstructured data. The structured data is like the data that organized and managed in databases. Like, for example, student records in schools and universities, healthcare records, like HR records, customers records, etc. But this type of data is 10% only from the existing big data. However, the unstructured data, which is 90% of the big data, it's unorganized, such as emails, videos, images, tweets and Facebook posts, call centers conversations, mobile phone calls, and websites clicks. So this is a huge number of data, and it exists in the world everywhere, and it is growing very fast and very huge, very large. It's very difficult to capture, very difficult to visualize, very difficult to analyze, and it's difficult to manage in the typical software tools like, for example, Excel, SPSS, Access, etc. This big data is everywhere in the world and unorganized, and it's 90% of the existing data. Now the question, why big data is important? Why we should care about this issue? Actually, the importance of big data doesn't revolve around how much data we have, but actually what we do with it and how we can extract meaningful information and useful information, and how we can make a critical and useful decisions from data that not related to each other, how we can make it related to each other and meaningful and information, and how we can get the insight and understanding. This is really what matters, and why big data is very special. This big data that grow very fast, and it's difficult to visualize, difficult to analyze, and difficult to control in normal websites, normal tools and applications and softwares. Now, if we extract the right information, useful information, and then we make the right decisions, this big data can be a great blessing for humanity. Actually, how it works in the big data world. In today's world, what happens is we have lots of data everywhere, and we need to extract the useful information, and we need to translate it into great decisions. How? First, we capture it, we acquire it, then we organize it, then we analyze it, then we make decisions. And for analysis, there are many actually techniques to analyze big data. One of them, something called machine learning. And machine learning is very useful technique, and it is actually based on two types of data. One is a training data, which is exist, that we have and we know, we understand, we label, and we describe. And a new data that we don't know, and it's not labeled, and it's not described, and it's not organized. So how it works, that we, based on the features or characteristics of the data, we can extract this data and match it with each other. So the new data will come and look for the nearest neighbor in the old data or training data, and take the same label and same description and same classification of it. There is other applications and other useful information in big data. Like for example, one of the applications is recommender systems. For example, if you go to Amazon, you want to buy sugar, then Amazon will tell you to buy tea and coffee. But how this happen? Because Amazon has previous transactions and recorded it and analyzed it, and noticed that people who buy sugar also they need coffee, and they sometimes buy coffee and sometimes buy tea. So what happened is they recommend to the new customers when they do buy sugar to buy these items. Another application we have is sentiment analysis, which is how to get feedback from people and people opinion. So for example, if the airlines company want to take opinions from people and feedback on their products and services, so they will get list of positive words, like maybe 1,000 words saying good, yes, I like it, brilliant, fantastic, and then another 1,000 saying no, I don't like it, it's not good. And then they will extract the data that exists from questionnaires, from survey, from Facebook, from people opinions, and then they will match the new data with the existing words that they have classified already, and then they will count, and then they will make decision, and they will find out the percentages. Another method is how to predict a new data, new information for the future based on previous data, like for example population analysis and statistics based on previous statistics and numbers. Another method or application is clustering analysis, which is how to group the data and how to classify the data based on previous data. And for example, the patient's healthcare, in healthcare, patient's records, we analyze patient's records, the new record, based on the previous cases, based on a previous patients. In my case in PhD, I did images, so I got the images of different patients from the hospital, Aberdeen Hospital, Royal Infirmary, and then I got these images, and then I store them, and then when the new images comes from new patients, we analyze them and classify them and group them based on the nearest neighbor and based on the existing data, and we match them based on the features, in this case about the infection, eye infection, and the intensity and saturation of the red color. And also there is another method called artificial neural networks, and I applied it, and it's very interesting that it does classify the data based on certain factor, like in this case is color histogram, and without having any idea before about the images and without actually previous knowledge. And in this case there is normal, there is moderate, there is severe infections, and then they classify these images based on this feature. This is some articles for further reading, and thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I will be very delighted to work as IT instructor in the Islamic Online University. Thank you.